All right. Welcome to the Dragon's Tome. I am your host this week, Chopper, and I'm joined with the illustrious Jack Fike Wave
Hey, how's it going?
and the boisterous Rob Harper.
Hi, how's it going, guys?
He's so boisterous, he's so loud.
Ooh,
I thought Jack's name was Jack Fike Wave, so
we're doing ASMR now.
Yes.
I was anti-boisterous.
So today we are going to be talking about Dragon Magazine, Volume 2, Number 1 of June of 77.
But when you go to the page numbers, it says Volume 1, Number 7, so what is
That's
it,
weird.
guys? Decide. What is it?
These Wisconsin people.
What are we doing
Okay.
here?
It's page cheese curds.
Fried?
Right. Yep. So let's talk about the cover. I feel like we have a pretty good
Stepped
cover
up.
this time.
Yeah, we stepped up with this cover. This is a good
Nice
cover.
little watercolors. You got the dragon who just destroyed a party.
He's picking his
Picking
teeth
his
with some
teeth
bones.
Yep.
And
I don't know
I
if the
wrote
dragon.
I wrote iconic cover because I have seen this before plenty of times. So I
That's
don't know
the
if
first
that's
anniversary.
just me or I wrote iconic cover.
Elro here is the guy who wrote it, or drew it. Drew it.
Nice. So I don't know if the dragon. I'm looking at it right now. I don't know if the dragon is very poor because he's only got a chest of stuff, or he's stealing the chest from the party guys. And why are they walking around with a chest?
I think he's a baby dragon. He's not very big. He's only 1 year old.
Oh, you're right. It's his birthday party. Oh, look, it does say birthday party. I don't know how that escaped me.
It's this 1 year old dragon who he's got one little chest and some weapons.
Oh, happy birthday, buddy.
He killed his first party. That's what that is.
Yeah, congratulations. You're going to
He's-
do it. You're going to
he's
do good
about-
things in life.
He's about to be beamed up by aliens.
Oh, yeah. So it is a nice step up in covers. So still $1.50 though. We haven't hit the Jimmy Carter inflation yet. Yeah. All right. So let's talk some articles now. Who wants to go first? Rob, you get to go first this time because I feel like Jack and I have gone first at least
Always
6
go.
times.
I know, it's Jesus. This one, Dragon Rumbles, we'll start with, he makes fun of the issue number 1's cover, which I think's funny. Because it was pretty bad. It wasn't the worst, though, but it was bad.
No, that Yes cover one was pretty bad.
Yeah, but he pretty much blames it on typesetting and stuff, how they couldn't have a good cover. They said they're looking to expand into non-TSR games some more. And he also addresses the idea that the rules in Dragon are official or not. Because I guess people keep asking him, like, are these official rules? And he said, only if the article is written by the person who designed the game, then you can consider it official. Otherwise, it's just some fan rules.
I think I did read part of that article or that letter. I think he was complaining that all these articles are making the game too rule bound too, or was that somewhere
you don't
else?
have to use them. Yeah. He says he also defends having non-official rules, and it's pretty much the beginning of house rules, I guess. Like it's just, it's funny that these people don't have the concept that you don't have to use everything. Like it's so new that the concept that you can pick and choose is not a thing yet.
That is actually kind of
you
the idea.
had what you had, yeah. So now you have more things to choose from, but it's beginning of house rules. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I think we see a little. It's a history lesson of the sociology of gamers in 1977 compared to 2021 we're currently in. So yeah, interesting. That's about it. I'm done.
Jack?
I'm done, he says. My article is going to be, it's on page 5, and it's called What to Do When a Dog Eats Your Dice.
Stole mine. That's mine, too.
I think we all did that one.
I have a lot to talk about this one, so we'll all have some stuff to talk about. So
Okay, well then I will just do a brief setup for the people who don't.
No.
And then we'll all...
talk your points.
Yeah. We'll chime in.
So what I wrote was it's an article that pretends to be a real article, a helpful article. And the first, it says it's what happens if you don't have your dice and what you could do during the role playing session to get on with the game. Okay, I'm game. Let's do some reading. And the first one's like chits in a jar. You could choose. I'm like reasonable. Oh, if you have a calculator, some calculators have this option. I'm like, no one has a calculator anymore.
Yeah, I was
Ha
gonna
ha.
say. But is there a calculator even back then that had an option for random dice? I don't remember ever having a calculator that could have random
It
number
wasn't.
generator.
It wasn't. It did the Texas Instrument because that was one of the reasons. Because I had that calculator,
Wow.
and when I read that part, I went, "Oh my god, I had that calculator!" And I would just use it to make random numbers, not for dice rolling.
And then it says, oh, you can use a watch with a second hand. And I'm like, oh, how quaint. No one wears a watch anymore either. So like that's where I got with this article. And then it goes batshit. Then he starts writing, and it gets more and more fanciful. And it says that methods that start reasonable, but become unreasonable and funny. And so that I'll just put that out there. And then anyone else, both of you, apparently, because this is the article of the issue. Like I can't even.
So. This classic, yep. And it also has a lot of comics to go with it too. Like there's examples of all their things. Like the first one's a guy getting his hands stuck in the jar trying to pull the chits out. Another guy flipping coins and betting on it. My first thing is I want to say that he suggested cards at the beginning, and now that's seen as a new technique for randomizing all these role-playing games nowadays. Oh, it's a new thing. We're going to not get rid of dice and use cards. It's like, well, somebody beat it to you in 1977, he suggested it. So.
Exactly. Malifaux, who else uses cards?
Lots of role-playing games. There's tons now.
There's a bunch of Westerns that do it.
But are there any that use Mexican jumping beans?
No,
I thought
that was funny as hell too.
Especially when they had the comics talking about them cooking them by mistake.
And they
if anybody doesn't know, Mexican jump beans have a little worm inside. That's why they jump. So.
And they made up a little Indian tribe that still uses them to this day. It gets real wild.
My favorite. Let's go ahead, Pat.
Well, I just was going to say I made a little note saying how this article was kind of cool, but not very practical anymore. Because you can get dice almost anywhere now. I mean, plus there are dice apps.
Well, I guess back then they literally the whole group would have one set of dice. They were so rare. I have like 20 sets of dice within reach. Like
polyhedral dice were so hard to find back then. You know.
Like I'm not kidding about how many dice. I literally can. There's 20 sets of dice in the.
I got a bag that'll kill a small animal of dice. I hit it in the head right.
But back then, this was actually an issue, like enough that it became. He's like, I'll write a funny art, and he's like, oh, it's only like 100 words. Let's just keep going.
I want to know. I want to know if you really thought some of this was funny, or he was being genuinely serious.
At first, he was serious, and then I think you've realized, hey, I got to fill this out, and then he got funnier and funnier. My favorite is the classic Greco-Roman augury method. Because he said, it only works if you have a bird fly by. That's just... I thought it was
the spinner one was my favorite, though, because he goes, there's any number of children's games that come with spinners.
Yeah.
The one was measure chest hair.
Yeah.
Oh, was that one? I must have missed that one.
Yeah. They said it's the Maso Macho Delight. He said the only problem is it really hurts.
The Lazy Susan dartboard is pretty funny too.
Yeah, that's when I realized, oh, he's not serious anymore. Because the phone book, I'm like, okay, I guess you could use that. But by the Lazy Susan, I'm like, you have to screw a Lazy Susan to your wall and throw darts at it? What?
Yeah. So Omar Kowalish wrote it, and he definitely tongue in cheek, and he got me the hook. Yeah. The hook got right in the cheek, and then I was like, as I was reading it, reeled me right in.
That's funny.
Wow. All right. Pat, do you have anything else to talk about in this issue?
I do, actually. I read the little article on Gary Gygax and the origin of D&D.
Yeah, this was really
I thought it was a very nice discussion how he created chainmail, and it was the evolution from chainmail into Dungeons and Dragons. So
I also find it how he kind of, I don't know if there was a rift at this point between Dave Arneson and him, But he kind of throws shade at Dave Arneson at one point, saying that he didn't actually design it. He had some ideas, and like it's like, oh,
I think
sounds
that's
like he's
the start. I think there was some bad water around that time.
Yeah, like he
Yeah,
wanted some more money out of it, I think.
Because at one point he goes, well, Dave didn't really care for it, but everyone else loved it. So, he was the odd man out, and I just went along. Like, I had to keep going. And I was like, oh, well, okay. Well, I don't know the backstory for certain, but...
Yeah.
Because I think Dave was responsible for the Blackmore stuff, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and it's his gaming group that turned Chainmail into a role-playing game instead of just being a miniatures game.
Yeah.
And it's just Gary Gygax afterwards codified that. And it is also interesting because at one point he says that he regrets putting it out so fast. People enjoyed it so much that he put it out, but he realized it's not really done. So you could see the idea of Redbox coming, like this is really the idea that he wants to have a complete product to put out, and the original D&D is not a complete product, the pamphlet. So I think that's where we're seeing these new box sets coming.
That's actually the last sentence. He says, "Rest assured, you'll see a completed version."
Yeah. So that was also interesting about that article.
So, Rob, you have another article?
No, because you stole my two articles. Because I was going to talk about those two. Yeah. Oh, I do have something. There's a game on page 13, which I think GW is going to sue somebody. It's called Space Marines.
Oh,
yeah. Of course, this is before GW was around, but I think they'll find a way to time travel just to sue them. Or maybe they can figure out retroactively.
I don't know if they were able to trademark Space Marine.
They not, because Robert A. Heinlein invented that word. So
yeah,
screw GW. But I just found it funny that there's a game called Space Marines. So
before Space Marine.
And I was like, oh, is this GW? Is this... And it's like, no, it's Fantac Games from South Orange, New Jersey. So I'm sure they are no longer existing, but I think they should come out of the woodwork and sue GW for copyright infringement. Because that's what are they called? What are the lizard guys from GW called? It's right there. That looks like a Space Marine to me. Like, look at those ships. That definitely, I think GW stole everything from this ad, from this game. I wouldn't be surprised if they got their hands on it.
The famous Games Workshop flying saucer.
That's right. I know it exists. And also another ad I just want to go quickly is Nomad Gods. And I was like, what is Nomad Gods? The Chaosium. Speaking of the in front of everything. I was like, is that Chaosium? Is that the same company? And I looked it up. And they're like, yep, this is the very first game Chaosium put out called White Bear Red Moon. And this is the Chaosium that eventually becomes Call of Cthulhu. But this is the beginning of it right there. So that's interesting, I thought. That taps me out, though.
What about you, Jack? You got anything else?
Yeah, I'm going to highlight a little article that you might not have missed, starting on page 16 and all the way to page 22. Just a pile of horseshit about army formations that have nothing to do with anything, and what a waste of space.
Yeah, and it's like, oh my god. If you're a military historian, it's probably interesting, but man.
Yeah, I guarantee you that there are historians, because.
But you see who wrote it though.
MR's.
That's the same guy who invented the Petal Throne game.
Petal Throne game.
Oh, well, this might be part of Petal and Throne because they say, oh, General so and so, he's famous for doing this, and it's just a bunch of blocks of text with a picture of a square and dots around it, and it says like, well, this is missile troops, and these are infantry, and this is stuff, and it is. Well, 6 pages of just nonsense.
Yeah.
If I would have bought this magazine,
I thought this was real military or formations. I didn't know it was all made up. That's even worse.
I started reading it and thinking it was going to be real formations because I'm kind of into that a little bit.
Yeah.
But then I was like, no, these formations are horrible.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's even worse.
And like Jack said, they started naming characters. I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
You didn't even research any kind of valid formation that would work in any kind of sense.
And again, the time and energy, it is pages and pages of it. That guy really genuinely honestly thought that was a good use of his time.
This is a guy who was working on this instead of working on his TPS forms.
Yeah, oh yeah. He was at work in his cubicle, and
With
he
his
just was.
dot matrix printer.
Yep. And then you tear the sides off, stack them up, put them in there. Oh, people love this. People, yeah. I'm the invincible glory maneuver of Hanu Takis. Everyone's gonna just be their pants will be so tight when they're reading about this.
Well,
No, it was
the serpent
nonsense.
is simply a column of men in a single file. It's
That
called a
is,
serpent.
that's
Or
I
you
saw
call it a
that.
column.
As I was like, so that can be picked up by any archer formation.
Well, it's just a column.
Yeah.
They had
Yeah,
those.
is
It's just called a column.
the big that in that world, the major general, the his formation was just line up and walk, guys. Yeah, but anyways,
If we walk in a straight line, it's like it's just one, and then it will fan out and it will be 1,000.
Notice also on that page, it's the invitation you guys were talking about last episode.
I was going to bring that up. Yes.
What page is that on?
Page 19.
19.
I want to
Is
hear.
that
I
the-
want to hear the dishes. Please tell me what am I going to be eating at my Gen Con 10 banquet.
Well, you get to
I
choose.
thought it was a joke at first. I thought it was a joke.
Oh, and it was $12.50, which is pretty much a meal at McDonald's would cost now.
No, you could buy like 10 meals in McDonald's for that price. American McDonald's
Cheers.
is stupid cheap.
Oh, so McDonald's in Canada then.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so your appetizers are either sardines with onion rings,
That's kind of odd.
celery, radish, and mixed olives and cherry tomatoes.
Okay.
You get an assorted fruit bar with Jello molds.
Remember in the 70s where everything was suspended in Jello?
Jello, yep.
I thought this was a joke at first. I was like, sardines with onion rings? No, there's no way.
No, because
Everything Jello
it's
mold?
the annual strategist club. I've seen that in past when I started reading Dragon. They would hold these awards. But then you can get salmon and tuna flakes with chopped onion.
So pretty much
Those
the
are-
inside of a tuna fish sandwich
Yeah, that's just
without the
apps.
bread.
Those are the apps. Then you're gonna go the platter of cold dishes. Cold roast chicken with jelly cubes.
Ugh.
To top it off, you get sliced roast beef garnish. So I read that and I was thinking, am I getting roast beef or am I getting the
Just
garnish?
the
that goes
garnish.
with roast beef?
That's right.
And then you're going to get a sliced breast of turkey, which is probably the only thing. And then an assortment of Wisconsin sausages.
Yeah,
So.
that's all right. That's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
at that point you're starting to...
Except for it
pique
says
my
cold
interest.
dishes. Is it cold sausages?
Yeah.
Like it's more like pepperoni sticks? Or
Yeah,
pepperoni, not like sausage.
Dried,
Okay.
yeah, like dried sausages. But,
Okay.
Super sot.
Yeah.
And then you get
Salami.
your salad. And then you get to your salad dish, which will either be a sliced beefsteak tomato with mixed garden greens, Wisconsin cream coleslaw, or potato salad.
We know you're feeling about coleslaw, Pat. You don't like it, right?
I know I like coleslaw, but I don't like the vinegary kind of coleslaw. We were
This
talking.
is the creamy. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You like this one then.
Yeah.
And then your hot dishes, you're going to get a roast strip sirloin of beef,
Nice.
capon and shrimp creole,
I don't like capons.
baked lasagna, and rice pilaf.
Nice.
And then dessert is just cakes and fruit tartlets and
And
cheese.
Tartlets.
cheeses.
Well, you're in Wisconsin. It's going to be cheeses no matter what. I'm surprised
Rolls?
there's not...
Rolls butter. That's like an actual
Coffee.
thing.
Well, you're going to get coffee, tea, and milk and some butter.
Is the butter one of the drink choices?
Oh, it goes on the roll.
But honestly,
250 people. Wow.
I would eat the hell out of most of that stuff, but it's definitely a snapshot of a certain time when certain dishes became had their day in the sun.
Well, these are the meals that this is the catering at the Playboy Club, the Playboy Resort.
Yeah. Do bunnies give it to you? Like, do you
I
get
don't-
served by
I don't-
bunnies?
I don't know. The Playboy Clubs went out of business by the time I was old enough to go to one.
Ah.
I just know
Dan,
that
you have-
12.50 probably seemed like a lot back in the 77.
Yeah, we should look
Like
this up.
$12.50, what the hell?
Let me
That's
look it up.
ridiculous.
You guys vamp. I'm gonna look up the price.
Well, I'm going to go with my last thing as far as ads are concerned, and that's I'd like to touch on mapping the dungeon again because now it's starting to become a list of pretty much everywhere. And there is a Chicago thing, and I do remember this war game club in the 80s. I never went to it, but the Chicago Fantasy War Game Club used to have a place in the upper north side, I guess, like near Uptown, if you're familiar. And then there's a good friend of yours from Ottawa, Chris Wilkes, that was looking for advertising for his game. I don't know how far Ottawa is from you guys. I just assumed that you're close to since it's in Ontario.
No, I think
8 hours.
Yeah, something like that. It's almost as far as you. 56.50 pretty much for that dinner. Not horrible. Get a lot.
Today's standards.
Yep. No, Ottawa's quite far away from us. It's our capital of Canada, but it's on the border of Quebec, so it's all the other way.
Nice.
Quite far.
Yeah, but the list every episode gets longer and longer, mapping the dungeons, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's showing the explosion, like I said before, of D&D.
There's even and you can tell that this has got a military background. Some of these, because some of these are on Air Force bases.
Mm-hmm.
So
Universities and Air Force, like military bases.
yeah, definitely. So all right. So all in all, I thought that was a very nice magazine. I mean, with the exception of the formation article, which took a lot of space, and
A lot of space.
I thought the Gary Gygax Dungeons and Dragons one was a very nice article.
And Jack didn't pick up the creature feature this time.
You didn't. The dog thing is also funny.
But the creature feature was again a really interesting picture. Not as good as Yentag. Not nearly as good as my boy from episodes past.
It didn't even give a picture for the Prowler.
Yeah, it does.
It did. It was
Next
a wormy
page.
thing with tentacles.
The next page?
Yep.
Oh,
Says
that
creature,
thing.
Creature feature.
Oh, yeah, that's
Or
so hard
feature,
to read.
feature.
That one's so hard to read.
It's not the
Okay.
intake. Oh, the intake's... Look at him. He's ready to eat your brain.
Oh my God, Jack, watch out!
Issue 5. That's the picture I was talking about, people. Right there.
All right, well, that was issue number 7. If we're going in chronological order. So yeah, rate the issue 7. Is that too high? I'm going to give it a 7.
7 out of 10.
Yeah,
Oh, it's pretty high.
it is pretty high.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Gary Gygax, a window into Gary Gygax's psyche was nice, and
That article was pretty good. The dog eats your dice one.
I thought the dice one was funny.
But there's that formation one really drags it down for me.
yeah. Other than there's an ad on what page was that? An ad on page 26 where I was making up voices for some of the miniatures in there to amuse myself at one point. That was the highlight of the magazine.
Swin miniatures.
McEwen miniatures.
Oh yeah, that's probably what it is. It's hard to see when it's all the same.
All the same font size.
Yeah.
Mace Windu miniatures. Was it? Yeah. No, I just was looking at the picture and I was pretending I was each and every one of them and I was making up voices for them. That was the most entertainment I got out of this issue. So I'm gonna go 3 out of 10.
I was thinking 3 also. I'm gonna go 3 because I know there's a lot of headroom. We know we're gonna go nowhere but up from here.
Yeah.
Oh, so we're going to go from all of them.
Well, yeah, that's kind of how.
Okay.
That's how
Well, then
how
I will-
rating
I will-
systems work.
I will definitely lower them because I was only just up to now.
Oh, up to now, yeah. Well, it's probably the best issue so far.
Yeah.
No.
that's why I
Can't
gave
say
it a-
much.
that's
No
why I gave it a
intake. I'm
7.
sorry, Jack. There's no intake in this issue. That's why you don't think it's the best.
No
right.
Imperial Dragon. Come on.
That's true.
All right,
I'm
so
sorry.
out of all, it's probably like a 4 for me.
There you go.
I just saw an ad for Canadian wargamers in Halifax, Nova Scotia. There you go. So it even penetrated Canada in this one.
Is that the Newfies, Nova Scotia?
No, that's Newfoundland.
Oh,
Halifax, yeah, there's They're not even Capers. There's Halifax, Nova Scotia.
All right. All right. Well, that's issue 7. We'll join us again next week for issue 8, and I think our good friend Boisterous Rob is going to be host.
Yeah, I am. That's
all
really
right.
exciting.
He's
Well-
I'm excited for that one.
the fans have made it well aware that he's the second best host of the podcast. So
That's true.
the feedback doesn't lie.
It's true.
I don't
Right.
want a voting system here, guys.
All right. Well, for the Dragon's Tomb, I've been Chopper.
And I'm Jack.
And I'm Rob.
We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.